would suspect we will come back to part 9 for further questions, but I'll bring in
if I could just tease out a little bit further, particularly on the residents association element there, and it's kind of one that I think is not a straightforward one, because if I gave an example of residents association X and there's a proposal to build 50 apartments in an area adjacent to a residential location that has 100 existing units in it. Okay, so there's 100 existing households within that residential development. And there might be, I don't know who's the one is that making that noise. Let's say that 30 of the 100 households are part of that residents association. Let's say even 50, half of them. You never ever get 100% of households involved in a residents association. You might get 100 out of 100 to attend if there's a particular issue to address a particular problem at a particular point in time. But my question is, in relation to the other 50 households that may have a different view, they too reside within the locality, and a submission is being made in favour or opposed to said development in their locality. Why does one particular group of households within that estate get, I suppose, more standing than the other households within the estate?
Well, the answer is they don't, actually. So the idea under our house for associations is that people can act collectively. So it's a collective, and it's actually recognised by the EU as something that benefits through reducing litigation and making procedures smoother. So say, to use your example, there's 50 houses and 20 are opposed and 30 are for. So the 20 who are opposed can form an association to make an observation or to take a judicial review, and the 30 can form another association to support it. So that's what the Irish Convention kind of contemplates, that people can kind of form ad hoc groups to participate in the planning system. So the problem is we're kind of mixing up residents associations with ENGOs, which are two totally different things, actually. And the idea is if 30 or 40 people band together into, whatever, concerned residents of wherever, they could, instead of 30 people taking 30 judicial reviews, you've one association taking one judicial review or making one submission, which strengthens the decision making and reduces litigation. That's the idea. So then, you see then kind of excluding that entirely, which I have very severe doubts you can actually do.
But doesn't this legislation permit for a group of residents to do, as you are just saying, only they have to be named individuals? So it could be John Cummins and Owen O'Brien of the Leinster House Residents Association.
If I go into the central office with 1,000 names...
We don't own houses here.
If I go into the court's office with 1,000 names to write down onto their system, they'll throw me out. So what's the difference between 1,000 named residents and one group?
I suppose I'm asking you that question.
Well, the question is that they're entitled to associate, and there has to be, I think the burden has to be on the legislation to say why they can't do it, because the Irish Convention allows them to do it. I
suspect that clearly the Attorney General has made, like, I doubt the Attorney General would advise on something that wouldn't be in compliance. Maybe that can be proven wrong, and I suppose that's what we're teasing out here. But I suppose my question to you is, what is the difference between John Cummins and Owen O'Brien at the Leinster House Residents Association and the Leinster House Residents Association?
Well, the difference is that they are acting collectively. So, like, we have a freedom of association. We have a long history of people forming associations. The Catholic Church is organised as unincorporated associations. The GAA club is organised as... So what's the difference between, 100 people who play Gaelic and your local Gaelic club? So, like, you're asking a question that, we have a long-standing practice in this country of people forming associations. So I think it's not something new that people are participated. People participate since the very beginning as associations in planning, and there's never been issues with it. The kind of official position is that you can't get a costs order in litigation against an association. But I think there maybe has been one cost order against an applicant. It's something that rarely happens because there aren't cost orders against applicants in judicial review. And, I think so there's a disproportionate response to a problem that doesn't really exist. And if there is an issue with costs, then legislation can be brought in to deal with that doesn't exclude associations from participating in the planning system.
And perhaps